Power Lunch with myself, Tshegohaco Moagi. And we, of course, are going to be saying goodbye to you at the top of 3 o'clock. But before that, we still have some great conversations. And we started off in this hour with reality TV star Boitshepo Mashetla, who is speaking to us about, look, besides being on Married at First Sight, Mzansi's debut season in 2024, we'll also speak about everything else that she has done since then, right? And maybe the doors that were open beyond the Married at First Sight. Boitshepo, good afternoon. Thanks for your time.
Hello, Tshegohaco. Thank you for having me.
So, I think when we talk about Married at First Sight, people are like, that's bravery on another level, right? Because you're marrying a complete stranger and you're doing it in front of millions of people.
Yeah.
Why did you decide that it's a bold move and something that you want to take part in?
Yeah, now we have to go all the way back to what? 2023, I think. So 2023, I had ended a long-term relationship. I tried getting back into this dating field and guys, I can show what's happening there. It's not cute at all. And I had been on Instagram chatting with my followers at the time and just sharing my experiences with them based on like a date I had been on previously. And I was like, not this guy making me pay for a bottle of wine when our date was already done. Which I don't have a problem, don't get me wrong. But now we're done and I'm supposed to be going home. And you're like, let's spend a little bit more time together. And I'm like, okay, like away anymore and let's chit chat, let's get to know each other. And I was like, budget the thing. I'm like, okay, then let me go home. But then I buy my wine because I really did enjoy his company anyways. But when I stepped back, I was just like, you know what? Field in this field. And so I shared that on my Instagram story and one of my followers sends me a link and a picture of an ad motiving. She's like, maybe you should consider entering Married at First Sight. I'm like to her, what is that? I've never heard of this before. I don't watch reality TV like that. And she sends me some links from YouTube. And she's like, have a look at these and think about it. But I think you do really great there. And I sat on it. I literally binge watched these shows. I was like, people actually do this? I can't think it about people. Can't think it about people. And the rest, honestly, is history. I ended up on maths. From the day I filled in the application form to when we started shooting, it was less than 3 weeks.
Sure.
Yeah, everything happened really quickly.
Now, I need to know how your family felt as well, right? Because it's a decision that you make. But when you choose to marry someone that you've never ever met, you need that support. But even, just marrying someone in general, right? You need that support.
Yeah.
Well, how did your family react to you being like, guys, I'm going to try this out?
You know, it was tricky because number one, you sign an NDA.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, number one, you sign an NDA. You can't tell people about it. I had to tell my dad. I was just like, what if Bangut? What am I going to say? You know? And I told my dad what I'm about to get myself into. And he's like, why? Have you seen yourself? Why are you doing such a thing? You don't have to go to such lengths. And I was like, no, I'm trying it differently because clearly the normal way, traditional way didn't work for me, you know? And she's like, but he's like, you're still young and I think uchachile. I'm like, you know what? I've made up my mind. I've decided I'm going to give this a shot. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it didn't work. There's nothing I can do about it. And he's like, okay, unfortunately, if ever they need you to have your family on TV or all of that, I can't be part of it. I don't want to be part of being on screen. As a father, it feels like giving away your daughter. Mahala. And he's like, I'll support you from the back. If you need to come home, if you need a place to cry, if you know I'm always a call away. So from the back side, my dad had me. But from the front, he was just like,
not happening.
As for my siblings that you guys saw on the show, I tricked them. I told them I want a competition. We're going to be on red carpets. Pull your best outfits. Let's go. They would have never forgave me if I told them, the bikini, the beaching. No, they would have never forgiven me for that. So yes, and obviously once they landed in Plet, that's how then they found out what I was doing.
Okay. A whole tricking situation, right?
Yeah.
But let's just then the last question around Married at First Sight, because I do want us to speak about your ambitions now and what you're busy with.
Yeah.
But that particular situation that you found yourself in, how do you think it opened doors perhaps for you? But what did you learn about Boitshepo to say, this is actually who I am, this is what I like, this is what I don't like in a relationship, and so forth?
Okay, we'll take it from the top. What did I learn from the setup from Married at First Sight? Guys, love is not easy. Relationships are not easy. It takes a lot of patience. And it taught me that if you're going to be in something as deep as marriage, it's committing to choose this person no matter how it is, whether they're your least favorite person today, whether they didn't stick to the end of the deal. It's choosing to say, I'm sticking with you and we're going to work it out because I want to be here with you. What did I learn about myself? I'm patient. I've always said I'm not patient. I'm patient. That's what I learned about myself. I'm quite patient. I also learned from my partner that I'm a planner to the T. And I just go about life. I think I go about life. It's apparent now that I plan everything to the T. Before I leave the house and I'm just going to pick up like porotonyana, I write everything. I write down my budgets, literally. I write down my 3 to 6 months plans. So I'm a planner to the T, and I don't just plan this. I always have a plan B and C also. Sure. So yeah, that's what I learned about myself. That's what I would say I've learned about myself. I've learned about relationships, and what has MAFS opened for me? It's opened doors, honestly. It's really opened doors. I'm a marketer by profession, and I'm always on the back end of marketing. But now I was told a word recently that a person like you is called a dual marketer. Oh. Yeah. So obviously being in front of the country, there's going to be a following. People want to know you, what you do, and all of that. And I decided to monetize the following. I've tapped into content creation. I've worked with brands I never thought I would work with. I never thought in my wildest dreams I'd be paid to drink bubbles and have fun under the sun. So yeah, those are the kind of doors it's opened for me, and I'm thoroughly enjoying. Yeah.
What was your strategy when the cameras stopped rolling? What did you have in mind?
To be honest, I had an interview before and they asked me, so what are you going to do with the numbers that you've gotten? And I hadn't thought about it. I really hadn't thought about it until the guy that was handling our PR at the time said to me, ma'am, when the cameras went on and this thing was live, you were at 3K followers. I was sitting at within a week, I was at 10K followers. And I was just like, yeah, I don't know. Let me think. I'm still processing my reality. I can't even go to a young Pick and Pay and just, get milk or whatever it is without people noticing me. And I even thought at the time, because when it went live, when it was officially in front of the whole country, we had relocated to Cape Town. So in my mind, I was like, hi, man, people are not going to notice us as compared to had we stayed in Joburg, we're going to be okay. Oh boy, was I lying to myself. We would be in Stellenbosch somewhere, or Franschhoek at a vineyard, having the time of your life. And there'd be like a few of us, people of color, and, they'd be like, oh, that's them, and there goes your day. Now it's adjustment. Everybody wants to be with you. They want to talk to you. And, because the country has really opened their arms warmly to us, the least you can do is appreciate them. Because at the end of the day, even after the cameras went down, after the show ended, they've still stuck through. They are my community now on social media. They're the reason I get the brand deals that I get today. So I will always stop when someone calls, Boitshepo, can we talk to you? Yes. Can we take a picture? Absolutely. Yeah.
Beautiful. 20 minutes after 2 o'clock, in conversation with Boitshepo Mashitla, who is a reality TV star. And we're speaking about Married at First Sight. We're done with that. We're going to move swiftly as to the kind of work that she does, when it comes to digital marketing and tech, but also being an influencer and what she needs to, how you keep up with the hype all the time. We'll continue our conversation with her shortly.
On DSTV Audio Bouquet, Channel 889.
This is Power 98.7.
Now, we're talking.
Indeed, this is Power 98.7. This is Power Lunch, and we are together until 3 o'clock this afternoon. Joining us in studio is Boitshepo Moagi, who is a reality TV star, but she's actually a lady in marketing. When you look at the marketing space, Boitshepo, and we speak about Women's Month, Women's Day, what is it like for women? Challenging?
I'm going to speak specifically for me in marketing and the side of marketing I'm in. I'm in tech marketing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in more app space marketing, and obviously I work very closely with product people, UI people, UX, and that's obviously predominantly male. It is challenging. You just have to be full force in and find that sweet spot, not to be the woman of color that's labeled angry, you know. Very easy to be in that space. It gets challenging, but once you know, when you're good at your work will speak for you. Honestly, you'll get to a point where even companies are just reaching out to work with you, and I feel like I'm at that point right now. But it is challenging. However, it's not just a space where I would say for women specifically, because marketing isn't just limited to tech. There's marketing in every aspect of our lives right now. And I've seen the amount of women that have taken the brave step to start their own agencies and stuff like that. So women-led agencies also. So yeah.
What has been, do you think, your biggest challenge, when it comes to being a woman in tech marketing and then being a content creator and a reality TV star?
Hey, I don't know how I do it. So my challenge as a woman in marketing, tech space, I've been in boardrooms where, one, I'm the only woman of color, one, I'm also the only woman in that space. I did touch on it on one of my vlogs when I had just moved back to Joburg, that I quit my job last year, October. And I was like, I'm not dealing with any of this. I know what I bring to the table when it comes to my work. I deserve better. My mental health matters more than any salary. I've been in this place when it comes to a job, and I'm not going back down that hole. I quit my job with absolutely no plan. Mind you, I can only 6 months to move to Cape Town. So little savings. I can only 2 months. I'm just like, what are you doing, Boitshepo? But we'll figure it out, Kopile. You're a smart girl. You've done this before. It wouldn't be the first time. You always come up with a plan. And I got very aggressive with content creation. I was like, at least that's something I can lean on while I figure out my way when it comes to my actual career. And balancing it also with content creation, I wouldn't say there's much of a challenge in that space. One thing I realized when I was in Cape Town, when it comes to my content creation space, or rather work, the opportunities are little as quick when you're there. But the moment I left Cape Town to come to Joburg, the opportunities and the doors I was knocking on there are only opening now that I'm here. Which I can't really explain why, but I'm truly not even complaining at all. A girl's got a bag. She's chasing it. We're working towards it. And in overall, I would think my biggest challenge was being a woman in boardrooms where you have to fight to be heard, where on top of that, I was called by this company, pack up your stuff, we want to work with you in Cape Town. You're leading all these women that have been in this company for so long, and they don't even understand, why would you fetch someone younger than us, someone that, they have all these opinions of me when they don't even know me. But we're just there to do our job and get our money and we leave. But yeah, I decided otherwise, and I eventually decided, start your own agency, and can I live peace of mind? I own my time, and look at me here right now. Yeah.
Love it for you. But you're on a mission, Boitshepo, to visit 100 vineyards.
Yes.
Where did your love for wine and MCC come from, and how is that mission going now?
The bevne. I grew up around my mom. I know a lot of wine. That's what I would say. But moving to Cape Town just amplified my love for wine. I made friends there, and we passed time by being you're at all these vineyards and you're just sipping on bubbles throughout. And I was just like, people want to know what I'm doing right now. How about I just show them where I'm going, what I'm doing, what I'm drinking, what I'm eating? And it just turned into you're at a vineyard every weekend. Sometimes you're at 3 in one day. You might as well go roads to 100 vineyards. And then I shifted. I moved to Joburg and it kind of slowed down. But then the vineyards are like, girl, hold up. We have a plan. Let's send you the packages. Let's work together. And let's make this virtual. And that's where I am right now. They're sending me packages. We might not be at the vineyard, but the vineyards are coming to us. So yeah, how's that going? I think if it's 20. So we have a long way to go. I think if it's 20, this is inclusive of also the virtual vineyard road that we're on. It's going amazing. I will say that I aspire to not buy alcohol anymore. I aspire to be paid to drink alcohol, and I think we're on a good starting point.
I love it. I love that. So before we go to news headlines, if you could write a letter to a young woman who's watching your journey, who saw you on Married at First Sight, who knows that you're a tech marketer, who's seeing you now, you know, ensuring that you get to your 100 vineyards, wine tasting and MCC tasting and enjoying those drinks. But someone who's just literally watching you as a young woman and perhaps either wants to, you know, do what you've done, but also just wants to understand how to do it. What would that letter say to that young lady?
Yeah. I actually get a lot of these questions in my DMs, like, how do I get into what you're doing? I actually studied journalism.
Oh, okay, fellow journal.
Yes. I actually worked in print media for a couple of years.
Okay.
And I was just like, life just shifted me into tech and the app world. And I would say, I can't press this enough for women, but tsenang skolo banyana baka, please. Tsenang skolo, focus on your academia, focus on your goals. There will always be a man waiting. There will always be a relationship. There will always be a situationship and a sneaky link. Focus on your goals. Go to school, study, get your money right. Get some mentorship. I need to press it even harder. Get some mentorship. Get your money right. Learn how to work with money. Learn how to budget. Focus on the things that you want before you can even think of pouring into someone else. That is it. Once you have poured into yourself, you also get to understand how to attain certain things for yourself, where to start. It empowers you before you can even get into anything else, is the letter that I would say to anybody. And I would even say to myself. But above it all, self-development will get you wherever you want to be. Don't just sit and say, yeah, I did a degree, I have an honors, I have a master's. It a short course, 6 weeks, into whatever you want to tap into. If you want to pivot to your career, pivot. I said, I studied journalism, I worked in print media, I dropped it. I got into marketing. I started marketing as the girl that is commenting on social media posts. I eventually grew into it and I was creating the content. I eventually grew into it and I was creating the strategies. And look at now, I have my own agency and I've decided to even specialize in the app world. So just focus on what you want, where you want to see yourself, and make yourself proud before you make anybody else proud. Your life needs to make sense to you before it makes sense to anybody else outside.
Where do we follow you on the socials?
On Instagram at Miss_Mashetla, on TikTok, Boitshepo Mashetla, on X, it is Miss Mashetla, I believe. But yeah, Boitshepo Mashetla everywhere.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Really appreciate it. So great to get to know you a little bit better this afternoon. Boitshepo Mashetla, reality TV star, but also she's a marketing expert, okay, tech marketing expert, and really just doing amazing stuff in that area.